Hey guys, got here to show you how to make a sandbag for rucking, finning, and just general PT stuff if you need it. Alright, so any of you guys who are trying to go into any of the SOCOM stuff, Recon, MARSOC, any of that stuff, chances are you're going to have to use a ruck that's at least 45 pounds or heavier without any water, food, anything like that. Now, I've seen dudes go out and use 45-pound like bump plates for like CrossFit or steel plates. I've seen dudes use the ruck weights that you can go buy that are super expensive. I've seen people use bricks. I've seen people use sandbags. I've seen people use like buckshot dive weights, which are honestly my personal favorite. We'll probably have a video about how to pack a ruck later, and I'll be showing you guys all of those different ways. But for today, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. Other than going out and finding a bunch of rocks and throwing them in your pack, this is probably going to keep you, at least your back, from hurting as much as you can, and it's also one of the cheapest. I think I got this bag of sand. It's a 50-pound bag of sand. I haven't weighed it, but that's what it says it is, for like $4 at Lowe's. I'm sure you guys could probably find this, or you can just go out and find a beach, grab a bunch of sand, fill it up. Something that I do a little bit differently with my sandbags is I like to waterproof them. I like to make them like perfectly waterproofed. So if I do have to throw them in a backpack for like a fin, or if I'm out doing whatever, I don't want my 50-pound sandbag turning into an 80-pound, 90-pound sandbag because it got wet and it soaked up all that water. Especially on fins, if you guys are out doing fins with your rucks and stuff, and your bag gets floated for like a 50-pound ruck, and you're like, all right, cool, it works, it's neutrally buoyant, and then it automatically becomes 80 pounds after like the first 5 minutes, and then it just sinks to the bottom, you're gonna have a bad day. So you definitely want to waterproof it. So I'm just gonna get into it. I'll stop the video every so often to show you what I'm doing to talk about it. But the first step is I'm going to waterproof it with just a couple of sandbags, or trash bags. Now you don't need anything awesome. You can get those big old like hefty black bags, but I just have my regular trash bags I'm going to use, and I'll show you how I make it more durable as I go. So stand by. All right, sweet. That's the first step. If you noticed, or hopefully you guys didn't notice, as soon as I tipped this bag over, it started spewing sand everywhere, which is nice, is because I already had it in this trash bag, so I didn't make a big old mess. Pretty much here on out, as long as I don't rip this bag, I shouldn't have any problems with it making a mess or anything. Right now, I'm going to go into getting like the base shape of it down with some duct tape. I'm not worried about making sure that it's like super rigid or anything, because I'm still going to shape it as I continue to put layers on and continue to put like the layer waterproofing layers. As of right now, I'm just trying to make sure that I get as much air as I can out while still leaving a little bit so it's malleable, but at least getting it to the point where it's going to be waterproofed. And I just want it airtight when I finish up this process. So stand by for that. All right, sweet. So the general shape is kind of formed. I want it in kind of almost a rectangle type shape. I don't want it too fat or too wide, because I want to still be able to fit this in my radio pouch or my ruck. And I don't want it to be like a perfect square brick, because at that point it's not going to maneuver in like my bag very well. You still want a little bit of room here for this bad boy to shape and form, especially if this is going to be like a PT pig egg, where you're going to be throwing it on your shoulder, throwing it on your neck or whatever. You don't want this thing super hard, because it's going to be digging into your like to your shoulders. It's just going to be super uncomfortable. Right now, if I took this put it on my shoulders, it would like form around my neck and my shoulders, and it'd be really comfortable to carry for the most part. I mean, as comfortable as a 50-pound sandbag can be, but it's gonna be a lot more comfortable than one of those PT pig eggs where it's super rock hard and it's just really jagged and just digs into you. So I'm going to continue pushing. I'm going to throw on my next layer, which a lot of people don't do, but I take a regular pillowcase. You can take like a waterproofing bag. You can take whatever. I like just taking a regular pillowcase or like a sandbag or something, like a Kevlar sandbag, putting my pig egg inside of it, and then wrapping that bad boy up inside of it as well. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to give it another barrier to make it a little bit tougher. So, say my outside duct tape rips or gets stabbed or has like a problem and gets torn up, then my first layer, my waterproofing layer, rips, tears, gets messed up. That duct tape gets messed up. Then it has to get through this, which is a lot harder to tear through and rip through than this. And hopefully at that time it'll protect my duct tape, my interior waterproofing layer, and then my sandbag on the inside. So if I don't protect it all the way and it gets cut or it gets slashed, or if that one layer, if I only did one layer, gets damaged or compromised somehow, then I'm just dumping a bunch of sand everywhere. I don't want that. So I'm a big advocate for taking another layer just to reinforce the like longevity of your pig egg, especially if you're using one for like PT. And one of the PT phases or events that we used to do is we would take your pig egg and you would throw it as far as you could, and then you'd do like star jumpers to it and then burpees on top of it, and then you'd pick it up and you'd throw it as far as you could. It was kind of like a durability test for your pig egg, because a lot of dudes at the end of that event would have pig eggs that were completely empty and they're just throwing a sack around because they didn't prep it correctly. And then they would fail the event, and then they'd have to go make another pig egg and they'd have to do it the next day. So it's better to do it right the first time, put a little bit of effort in when you first do it so you don't have to go back and redo it again. I'm going to knock it out. I'll fast forward so you guys don't have to sit around. Alright, so I'll stop it right there. If you notice, that's why I want to put this extra layer in. Just my hand grabbing this bag, trying to push it around and stuff, ripped that first layer of the trash bag. So that's on me because these are kind of crappy trash bags. But I can take this time real quick, patch it up with some duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything. Patch it up with some duct tape so it's good to go, and it still works as a decent waterproofing layer. Now, I'm not too torn up about it. I'm not like, oh dang, this entire sandbag's ruined. Because for the most part, this is still going to be waterproof, and I know that I'm going to have another really good waterproofing layer on the outside of this as well. So it shouldn't be a big deal. At this time, I'm working on the shape of it, because when I get a little bit further, it's going to be really hard to readjust that shape. And I don't want it to be lopsided. I want this bad boy to be evenly distributed throughout here, so it's not lopsided, it's not extra heavy on one side, so it's still halfway decent to carry. But as you see, I got it down in the bottom of the pillowcase sideways, so I can take my pillowcase, wrap it around nice and neat, and call it a day. I'm going to duct tape this now, and then I should be able to start my second waterproofing layer. But now here on out, I can mess with this, and I'm not going to rip through that trash bag that I put through the first time. So it's a lot more durable just by getting it in this bag. Alright, sweet. So that's pretty much our second layer, where we've reinforced it with that pillowcase or sandbag or whatever you got. I've started reinforcing the shape again since it was getting a little lopsided and everything, and that's okay. I still have a little bit of air in here. I still got a little bit of wiggle room for that sand to shift around a little bit, and I want that so I can form my sandbag to fit wherever I need it to fit comfortably, so it's not super uncomfortable when I have to carry it or whatever. My next step is just like before. I'm going to do another sandbag or another trash bag for waterproofing. Now the only thing that's different about this is I'm not just going to do the shape. I'm going to get it in the trash bag, and then I'm going to wrap the entire thing a good couple times so that I get that final seal. I want this to be as watertight as possible, because after that I'm going to do a couple little things that I like to do for my sandbags. So I'll fast forward so you guys don't have to wait through it. Sweet. Now that I got my all my layers in there, and I got pretty much my exterior wrap already done, I reinforced the sides and the corners a good amount, because this is what's going to be getting hit on the ground a bunch. These are normally where you're going to see blowouts, is on the edges. You don't normally see blowouts in the center unless for some reason you drop it and it gets caught on something and it just splits. At that point, you got to realize, hey, it's just tape, plastic, and a bed sheet or whatever, freaking pillowcase, whatever you got. It's not going to hold up to you if you drop it on the corner of something metal or something and it gets slashed open. But as of right now, this thing should be watertight. It shouldn't be letting any extra water in. If you notice, it's a little bloated looking because it has a little bit of air in there, and that allows it to adjust itself however it needs to be more comfortable to carry or whatever. This one, since it's so big, I don't think it's going to fit in the radio pouch. It may. I'm going to have another video coming up soon, how to pack a ruck. If it fits in there, then you guys will be like, all right, sweet, it fit. If it doesn't, just know, hey, this is one way to do it. This one is going to be a lot heavier than you need it to be. You guys can scale it down. I think 5 pounds of sand is probably just like that much, probably an inch or so. Taking that off of your sandbag, and then you would have no problem getting this in your radio pouch. I think it's going to be pretty close with this one. But something that I like doing for my PT pig eggs is something a little bit different. So normally I would use like a McMat belt, whatever you got. This one's a little too small, and I don't have another one because I haven't worn McMat belts in freaking years, probably 8 years. I only wear riggers belts, so it is what it is. But I have a piece of nylon webbing, which is honestly just as strong, maybe even stronger, but it's going to work out perfectly for this. So I'm just going to take it around, figure out my distance that I need, or the length of the rope. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie it, probably do a water tape or something, tie it where there's a little bit of excess, enough so I can get my hand in on all sides. And what that's going to do is it's going to create 4 handles for me to put my hand on and carry this bad boy a little bit easier. So when I'm going and I need to pick this bad boy up, I can grab the handles, pick it up, throw it on my shoulder, grab it this way, throw it on my shoulder. If I'm doing a team event or something and I have a bunch of dudes with me, we can take our ropes, we can take our belts, we can do whatever, feed it through here, hold it so it's easy for 2 dudes to grab, or we could just go grab both sides. Something a little bit easier for you to be able to carry this. But before I get to that, I'm going to knock out this layer right here of this thicker waterproof tape. It's like Gorilla Tape. This is going to be like my final layer almost. I'm going to do another one after when I put the belt on, or the webbing. But this is going to be like the most exterior tape wrap that I'm going to do. And I want this full coverage, so it's going to protect it. When I made my first sandbag, it was in Mart. And at the time, Frozen just came out and is super big, and we were all watching Frozen in the barracks and stuff. It's lame because you see a bunch of military dudes in the barracks singing "Let It Go" and whatnot. But we got told, hey, you need to make sandbags. So a bunch of guys went out and got Frozen Elsa themed duct tape. So they were running around with duct tapes. These big old yoked dudes, military guys, running around with pig eggs that have freaking Disney princesses and snowflakes on it. So that's pretty funny. Whatever you want to do, I like using black tape because it's pretty plain, I guess. And you can go do a lot with it. I like painting my sandbags after and doing crazy stuff. I've done ones with skulls and stuff. I've done just different crazy stuff. This one will probably be a funny one, but black is a good place to start. I'm going to knock it out real quick, and then I'll get to where I put the rope on, and then you guys will see. All right, sweet. Knocking it out. I've seen some dudes do like a cross method. I've seen dudes do like a weaved pattern or whatever. At the end of the day, it's just duct tape. Don't go too crazy with it. The more time you put into it, sometimes you could be spending that time doing something else. Better invest in it. Just running it around a bunch of times. I think that's probably the best way to do it, the quickest way. You don't want to waste a bunch of time knocking this bad boy out for no reason. So, here, this is kind of tricky because it's going to slide everywhere. So the best way to do this is get it kind of roughly on centered. I want enough space for the two ends to meet together, but I don't want it to be coming right in the dead center of it. I want it to come to a corner. So whenever I grab this, I'm not putting my hand on a knot and it's super uncomfortable. But now that I've kind of sized it, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'll do this a little different. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple pieces of tape to hold it secure so I don't have to mess with it later on. Boom. Should be good, roughly about center. Now, when I'm putting these pieces of tape on, I know that it's going to get tighter as I tape it down. So I'm going to give myself a little bit extra, but right about there, enough to get like at least your fingers in, you should be good. Boom. You want to keep it center as much as you can so it's not all lopsided and weird. Boom. Fingers can get in there. All right, now that I'm on that final corner, I'm going to go ahead, bring it together. I know that I have enough room to do my knot. I know there's enough room to do my knot there. I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm just going to do a water tape. If you guys don't know how to do a water tape, I'm sure you guys can look it up. For the dudes that I train and stuff, go ahead and reference your binders and everything. They'll have it in there, or just ask me. But I'll do a water tape because it is a webbing, and it's probably one of the better knots to use for webbing. It'd be more difficult to do a like a freaking square knot or whatever. Water tape is usually the best one to do with webbing. So, almost done. Boom, dope. Knocked it out, water tape. Now I'm going to get my correct spacing so that I know I can get my hand in there. I'm going to tape over it. Boom. I'm just going to reinforce those corners. Sweet. So I ran out of black tape because I've been making a bunch of things with tape recently. But I would do one more strip around this way just to reinforce where these handles are at. Since these handles are so narrow on this tape, eventually you're going to see tears forming right here on the tape, wherever these handles are at. It should be fine though. I'll go pick myself up some more of this reinforced tape later on, finish it off. Probably when I get the stuff to go paint this bad boy and give it a name or whatever. If you guys want, go ahead and put a requested name down here, and whoever gives the best suggestion, that's what this guy's name will be. You can recommend whatever kind of paint job you guys want on this bad boy. I was thinking something super funny and cartoony, just because it's so heavy and it's going to be really annoying for people to carry. But whatever you guys recommend, I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll take pictures and throw it up online for you guys. Just to show you how these handles work, I can slide my hands in there, boom, grab it, knock out, chest press, overhead press, whatever I need to do. Grab it, same way this way, easy day. Slide my hands in there, boom. Whatever I gotta do, not a big deal. Should be able to grab it however I need to on all these handles, knock them out, not a big deal. But this should be nice when I go to carry this. If I'm doing like a PT event or something, I can grab it, grab my handles, boom, throw it on my shoulders, and it shouldn't be super uncomfortable, and it isn't, because that extra space that we left in there the entire time, it allows it to form around your shoulders and your neck. So I can like, boom, slam it down a little, and you can see that it's starting to form around my neck. So not a bad deal. Pretty decent pig egg. If you guys have any more requests for videos, or if you want any more information on anything specific, go ahead, put it in the comments. I look at all of them. Other than that, I don't think I got anything else for you guys. Thanks for supporting the channel.